Welcome to BS Draftcast, where we are Brandon, Steven, and we are back at you with another one. We are coming at you with the college prospects, with the upcoming combine uh, approaching fast, and we wanted to go over a few players that we are really hoping that show out during the combine or during their pro day, because some players obviously aren't going to be at the combine. So we're gonna go over a few of them players. Have a nice little video for you guys, a little live stream, something for you guys to go back and watch. As always, I got my man Steven on the other line, and he's gonna pretty much take the reins on this. He's really dove into a lot of these college players, as he does every year. I've been tied up pretty busy. I've dove into quite a few, but not definitely not as much as he has. So we're gonna dive right into this. Steven, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm excited for the combine, man. It's coming up quick.
It's crazy. It's crazy how fast it's coming up. Honestly, it's it seems like football. Obviously, football did just end. It just seems like we're rolling right into the next wave of things. I mean, we got franchise tag designations, free agency, combine. It's all coming into place. So
Yeah, it's coming up quick, man. I mean, shoot, it starts the 24th, so next week.
yeah,
Yeah,
it starts Monday, I believe.
it's coming, dude. Yeah, it's coming up quick. So it's exciting though. At least we get some get a little bit of football related stuff going on. Right after the Super Bowl. So it's exciting.
Starts the 27th, actually. So
Oh, is
next
it
Thursday.
27th?
Yep, next Thursday. I
Oh,
just
okay.
looked it up. So next Thursday is the start of the combine, which is gonna be exciting. Um, One big one. I don't know if you've seen the reports, but Cam Ward is saying that he may not throw at the combine. What's your thoughts on that?
Dude, I feel like recently a lot of quarterbacks have been doing that. Like they won't throw at the combine, but they'll like throw at their pro day. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's just like a comfort thing,
Right.
like or if it's just like, dude, just watch my tape. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of quarterbacks do that now for some reason.
Yeah, I seen that and I was kind of like, damn, that's interesting. I mean, obviously, you and Shador are kind of the top two front runners for quarterbacks. I would just assume that you would throw at the combine, but like you said, over the past couple years, we've seen a lot more quarterbacks not throwing at the combine. They just throw at their pro day. So I guess we'll wait and see if he does or doesn't. I'm sure he'll do the other drills though, and a big one they're gonna watch for is his basically his athleticism, his speed, and we'll see how it goes. But let's dive right into. Actually, before we dive right into it, I gotta give credit where credit's due, man. Shiloh Sanders. I don't know if you've seen what he did. He didn't get invited to the combine. This man brought the combine to Colorado. Got the same exact 40 time equipment that they use at the combine. Everything at the combine he brought to Colorado. Hats off to him for trying to get to the NFL, man. I mean, I got to give props for props to do, and he's not letting that dream die, even with all those injuries that he had.
No, that's really awesome, man. That's kind of his biggest been his biggest hurdle, man. I feel like a lot of those injuries kind of sapped the explosiveness and stuff that he had, coming in, and all the injuries and stuff. They just piled up, man. Yeah, but hopefully he can show that he is healthy, and maybe he'll be a later round pick, and he could possibly develop one day into a starter. I mean, anything's possible.
Right,
He just gotta put the work in, man, and do his best to stay healthy.
for sure. All right, dive right into it. I'm pretty sure you have the PFF up as well. Obviously the top prospect everyone says Travis Hunter. I know he's going in listed as a DB. Uh, he is adamant that he's playing both sides. We all know Travis Hunter. I mean, he's a beast. There's no doubt. Do you think that in this in this NFL that he can play both sides of the ball?
Man, I think that if you draft him, and you want him to play both sides, like that's the purpose you're drafting him for. It's one of those things where I think he could do it, but I don't think he could do it on a like play full snaps on offense and defense. And I feel like if you get winded on offense, you can just kind of step off and take a breather. But if you're winded on defense, you
You're
lose
getting
your number
burned.
one corner. That's because he's got to step out because he's winded.
Yeah,
Like that's not good for the defense, because that's corner is arguably more important than wide receiver, depending on which way you look at it.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, you lose your number one corner or your number one receiver because he needs to take a break. Like offenses are going to attack that. If he gets pulled off the field, and such as the nickelback just goes jogging on, they're gonna pick on him.
Right.
So I mean, if he can do it, hats off to him. If anybody can do it, it's probably
It's him.
him.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
god dang, yeah, it's crazy to think about.
Now, I know we talked about this, and it goes back to the Heisman, and he had a great year, no doubt. But my biggest problem is he wasn't the best corner in the NCAA, and he wasn't the best receiver in the NBA, any NCAA. So I'm not quite sure why he's ranked number one. Maybe because it is the dual threat positioning. But I just, and I like Travis Hunter. I have nothing against the guy, but I just don't understand how he's the number one guy. Like, is it the fact that he's the dual threat receiver, corner, the two very important positions? Um, I just the Oregon Duck said it on the Pat McAfee show. He said snaps aren't a stat, which which is great. Um, I truly think that Ashton Genty got robbed of the Heisman, but Travis Hunter, what Travis Hunter did was incredible. But like I said, he wasn't the best corner in the college, and he wasn't the best receiver in college. So it's kind of hard for me to say that if you're drafting for a corner, why are you drafting him over someone else? And if you're drafting for a receiver, why are you drafting him for over McMillan? You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying here? And it's kind of I don't know. It's a weird spot unless you are going to draft him for um if unless you're going to draft him for that dual threat. Uh, Sam just said I love T Mac. He's an Arizona fan, but he ain't going number 3. I would agree. Uh, I would agree. I would agree with you. Um, I think who do we have Arizona getting? Do we say edge rusher?
Yeah, I usually have them getting an edge rusher. Yeah.
Someone like a Carter, if he's
I don't
there,
know. I don't know if
obviously.
he'll be there. Yeah. Yeah, more like maybe a James Pierce or a Mike Green or someone down the line there. Yeah, because
Sam
I don't
saying
think
he's going to the Saints or the Cowboys.
who's that?
Uh, the guy in the stream saying that T Mac's going, McMillan's going to the Cowboys or the Saints.
Dude, I can see him going as early as the Patriots, and I don't shoot, dude. If I'm the Panthers, I probably wouldn't let him slip past us. But the Saints too, because the Saints are right there too. So I mean, if he does fall
Yeah.
to that spot, the biggest thing with McMillan is he's one of the guys I'm really looking forward to seeing at the combine because I want to see him run at least a 4.55 like in there.
Yeah, if he
I
if
want to
he
see
can
him.
if he
Yeah,
yeah if he can run like a sub 4.5, and bro, if he breaks 4.4, oh shit.
in the lateral drills, I want to see his lateral. I mean, he's 6'5". You know what I mean? He's a big dude, so he's going to be a little bit robotic. But I want to kind of see him in
Ooh.
the agility drills. You know?
Yes. Whoa, Sam, chill, bro.
Uh,
Patriots do not need a quarterback. They got Drake May. What do you mean?
yeah, they need somebody
Uh,
for Drake May to throw to.
they need someone for Drake May to have a target. He didn't have shit
Yeah,
last year.
throw to, frickin' stand behind, frickin' hand the ball off to. They need everything.
They need everything but a quarterback.
Yeah, on that offense, yeah.
McMillan, yeah, Sam, let me know on the stream if you could see the draft order and the draft board, like if it's clear or not, because I can't see it on my end. So I just want to know if you can see them because I have them side by side. I'm just looking at the draft order. Okay, perfect. Thank you, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. He said it looks good. I, I mean, I don't
Sweet.
see him getting past New England either at 4, but they need so much help they could shock everyone. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
They
they
need
could,
they
they
need
could,
edge rushers. They need I mean they need everything. The one spot they don't
yeah.
need is they have a solid corner in Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, Christian Gonzalez is good. I mean, but you look at the rest of that team. I mean, there's just question marks
There's
across the board. I
holes.
mean, so they could
Yes.
be one of them teams that trades down and it's like we're going to get some picks, or we're going to take a
Trying to
McMillan,
fill.
we're going to take a Kelvin
Yeah.
Banks. Like we're going to take one of these guys because I mean, I think that there's some depth in this draft at a lot of positions. But like how offensive tackles are, man, they go flying off the board early. So yeah, you're kind of rolling the dice, man. If you skimp on one, in the first round, and you go ahead and take your receiver, and then in the second round, you got a good receiver, but you have no tackles left. So
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You're.
yeah,
It's a roll of the dice there. Sam, you're right. Sam, you're 100% right. He said, "Dog, I would cry if by some miracle we got drafted by the Cards. uh, MHJ and T Mac would be a fever dream. That would be one of the most disgusting duos and young duos in the league. But the Cardinals at 16, bro, they better trade up if they're going to draft him, or he better have a dog shit combine to drop to 16.
and you got to remember
uh,
too, it's not Kyler Murray to get a job to get him the ball. So
yeah, Kyler
you know what
Murray
I mean.
did. Yeah, Kyler Murray did say last year, bro. Actually, you know what? You're a Cardinals fan. We have a Cardinals fan in here. I want to ask him about that. How did you feel about Kyler Murray's comments about saying it's not his job to get Marvin the ball or receiver the ball? What was your thoughts on that? I truly want to know.
I've never seen like the full quote. I don't know if it was ever taken out of context
Right,
or if
I've
it
never
was
seen
just
it
like
either.
if he just straight up said that. Like,
Oh, I respect it, bro. I respect his comment. Being an Arizona fan, I respect that comment.
what
Sam
he say?
said Kyler needs to be humbled, bro. I respect the hell out of you.
Yep, 100%.
And he did say the Cardinals need a defensive line. Yeah, they absolutely
Yeah,
do. And this year, there's some dogs at edge rusher, man. And there's some beef in the middle too. So they definitely
there
have
is.
an opportunity. But
Um,
as far as McMillan, I don't see him getting past New Orleans. There's no way. And if he gets past New Orleans, he's not getting past. Bro, what about Miami? I know there's rufflings with
getting
with Tyreek and blah blah
yeah,
blah, and this and that, whatever. I mean,
yeah, that
hell,
whole
even
thing's a damn mess.
say he just keeps falling, like he gets past New Orleans, Chicago. I don't believe would take him. Chicago's got to protect their investment with their first round pick, their guy, Caleb Williams this year. San Francisco, I think they're fine. IU coming back. Debo obviously trying to get out, whatever. Um, Pearsall really played really well last year towards the end. Um, but if Miami, say it gets past Miami, Indianapolis ain't passing up on him. Indianapolis don't give a damn. Indianapolis is taking him. Mark my words. If he makes it to 14, he's going to Indy. You
Yeah, and like you said too about Dallas, man. I mean, Dallas, shit, get him next to CD Lamb, dude.
right,
You got your big target. I mean, CD's not small, but I mean, those two together could be really good.
bro? I truly think that Dallas is hell bent on Ashton Genty if he's there.
Yeah, Jerry Jones going back to the well, man. I could see it happening, man. I feel like offensive line is a bigger need for them. You seen
Zach Martin.
Zach Martin just retired. So like I mean he's a guard, but like offensive tackle too. Like I like Tyler Guyton. When they drafted him last year from Oklahoma, I thought that he was better suited on the right side than he was on the left side.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
he
and
had
you
some
you
games where he
mentioned
played
that
well.
actually in
Yeah.
our coverage. You mentioned that actually.
And I didn't understand because they have Tyler Smith, and Tyler Smith played really well filling in for Tyron Smith. Whenever Tyron Smith had all them injuries and stuff, like Tyler Smith played really well, and they kept him at guard, which I mean he plays guard exceptionally well too. But tackle's a little more important, so I figured they were going to kick Tyler out to left tackle, and then they were going to have Tyler Guyton at right tackle.
Right.
But I don't know, that's Dallas, so.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, Sam's literally saying the same thing in the chat. He's saying like he's not sure if Dallas is going to do anything crazy, and he thinks Dak's going to get traded. And then CD is a diva. Like if he's getting the ball, he's good. But if he throws a fit if he doesn't get the ball, which absolutely.
Yeah.
He asked if we've seen the undrafted free agent kicker who's going to the draft, Tyler Loop. Look him up. We'll look him up right now. I'll look him up on
That's a dude
stream.
that's like 26 years old.
I don't know. We're gonna look. Tyler Loop played for Arizona State. It looks like. Bro, this dude's nuts.
Good.
Oh my.
1-3-3.
This man just kicked a 65-yard field goal with absolutely no problem.
Too short.
He just
Seabass
kicked a
out here.
70. Bro, he just kicked a 70.
1-3-1.
What the hell? This dude just kicked a 70-yard field goal
Snap.
with yards to spare. Holy shit.
Dude,
Oh,
these
he said
kickers now are insane.
University of Arizona. Okay. This dude just kicked a 70-yard bomb with, like, I'm not talking like it skimmed the crossbar. Like, I'm talking it cleared it and it kept going. Oh my god. All right, Tyler Luke. He getting drafted.
What a freak.
Dude, the Raiders are taking him, getting back to their roots with Seabass. All right, a little bit off topic. Let's get back on track here. We talked about Travis Hunter. Who before we just go down the list, because that's easy to do. Obviously, anyone can look at the list, and anyone can look at big names, and anyone can be like, "Oh yeah, obviously Abdul Carter, McMillan, Travis Hunter." I mean, the Mason Graham, Ashton Genty, Malachi Starks, da 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 da. Who are the players that you think that the people watching should like really look at, like and like pay attention to?
Man, it kind of depends on what you're looking for. I mean, one guy that I'm really looking forward to seeing at the combine is Harold Fannin. He went to Bowling Green, had a great career, but like people knock him because of the competition. But I mean, the dude was dominant. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I want to see his testing at the combine because he used to be like a running back, which is crazy to think, and now he's a 6'3", 240-pound tight end. You know, so
That's really crazy.
yeah, I would love to see him. I'd love to see him do some damage at the combine. Speaking of tight ends, Mason Taylor, he's another guy. LSU, he's a big dude. He moves incredibly well. The numbers weren't necessarily there, but I think he could be one of those guys that he's a better pro than college player. But yeah, I mean, there's quite a few guys in this draft that I would really like to kind of see. Like I would like to see the type of zip that like Kyle McCord. I want to see the type of zip that he gets on the ball. I know that he's not like one of those names everybody's like, oh, you know what I mean? But I would like to see. He played at Syracuse, by the way. I would like to see him just go out there and be able to make the outside the number throws, and see
Right.
what kind of zip he can get on the ball. Curtis Rourke, he's another guy, big quarterback. I would like to see consistency, accuracy with him, and just kind of see how he tests. You know what I mean? Because he's got some athleticism, but he's a big dude. I would like to see how he tests. And a couple offensive linemen, man. Jonas Salvaneo, Arizona. He's a little slow-footed. I kind of want to see him in like the agility drills and see how he does, and see if he's going to be one of those guys that stays at tackle, or if he's one of them dudes that gets kicked inside the guard. You know what I mean? So I would like to see that. I feel like Gray Zabel, he really shined at the Senior Bowl. I think they're going to run him through a bunch of different drills, kind of like how they did there, because he played tackle, guard, center. Like he's a Swiss Army knife. You know what I mean? So that's the offensive side of the ball, man, and then defensive side of the ball.
Before you go into defense, let me
Uh-huh.
pause you. Zava, Jonah Zava, is actually Sam was actually talking in the chat, and he's saying that he said that asked if we seen him at the Senior Bowl, and he thinks that he could be a first, second round guy. And then he said which I'm kind of make me understand what you're saying, Sam. You said on the Ashton convo, my only concern with him is the NFL players don't tackle like they do in college. Like you meaning good or bad in that sense? Because I feel like people in the NFL half-ass tackle, and Ashton Genty's just gonna go crazy in the NFL, honestly. But
I think Ashton's running style will. I think it'll translate good to the NFL. I really do.
yeah, I agree. I remember a couple years back. Well, there's been quite a few times that we've been wrong about running backs, but just one that is really made me start looking at players' running styles and the way players navigate the field, like as a running back, is Trent Richardson. We both thought this dude was going to be an absolute hammer,
Yep.
and he was the farthest thing from it. And if you look at his running style, and you look, and obviously this is years down the road, so you look at Ashton Genty, two different builds as well. Don't get me wrong. Ashton Genty isn't a boulder rolling downhill. Like, I'm not saying that at all. But the way Ashton Genty is patient and like gets downhill, he hits the hole, he navigates the field. Like the running style is a real big thing to look at nowadays. And if like obviously we think that Ashton Genty's running style is going to translate to the NFL. Like you look at some running backs and you're like, man, I don't know if this guy's going to pan out. Just the way he runs the ball, like the players that rely on their pure athleticism to outrun the defense, that running style isn't going to work in the NFL because D linemen are more athletic than some of these players that are in college. I mean, we're talking about 300-pound guys that can run just as fast as the guys, as fast as they are at their top speed. So I've actually looked and dove into like running styles and how they navigate the field and how they read their offensive line a lot more than just like, damn, this dude's an athlete, he's gonna make it. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, we see it all the time.
Okay, so Sam is saying there's some lazy ass tacklers, but I think he may struggle in the beginning. I think it all depends on placement where he ends up. If he ends up behind a good offensive line, Ashton Genty's gonna set the world on fire. Honestly,
He's
but
going to the
I
Bengals.
do.
He'll be fine.
Hey, Chase Brown did do the damn thing this year. I can't be mad at it.
He did, but man, you got Chase Brown coming in to spell him. Shit, you got T. Higgins on that franchise tag, dude. Oh my god,
Crazy.
that big ass offensive line. Shit.
But I get what you're saying, Sam. I mean, time will tell, obviously, and obviously the draft will tell where he's going to end up. Hopefully, it's somewhere that I can enjoy watching him play. Honestly, I don't want to see him get wasted behind someone just getting absolutely annihilated every play. All right, on to your defensive players to watch out for.
One of these guys he's pretty well known, so it kind of veers off of the topic a little bit, but he has like some question marks too. But it's Kenneth Grant out of Michigan, big nose tackle, but I expect him to have a big combine, man. He's super athletic. I could see him having a combine similar to what we've seen from T'Vondre Sweat last year. Like he's one of those guys where T'Vondre was kind of like he was gonna go, in like the second, third, and then he just blew up the combine and he started to skyrocket up draft boards. So I can see something like that happen with Kenneth Grant. I think he's probably a little more polished, um, fundamentally, but where he's gonna fall, it's hard to say. But I think if he ends up blowing up the combine, like I think he will, I think he could go. I think he's a first round talent for sure. Um, so I think that could definitely bolster his draft stock. A guy that has really gone up boards too, is Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. Big dude, just not the sack production. He had 4.5 sacks in college. 6'5", 280. He moves like a cat. Just doesn't have the pass rush, repertoire yet. You know what I mean? He's great against the run. great against the
Damn.
run, but
Didn't he had 6 sacks his entire college career?
yeah, it's just nothing. Yeah,
Hey,
no
Sam,
production.
one second. Hang 1 second. Sam, appreciate you tuning in, man. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you shooting the shit back and forth, brother. Have a good night at work, or good day at work, I should say. I actually got to go to work at 2 p.m. tomorrow, so that's why I'm running today. I appreciate the follow, man. Thanks.
Yeah, that's
All right.
cool. Thanks for stopping by, man.
We're pretty much doing this every Saturday, so make sure you tune in again, bro. Appreciate you, bro. All right, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean that's another guy that I don't know, like to see him in the agility drills, see how he gets down. You know what I mean? See how he gets in and out, see how his hip flexibility and everything. I think he's got the athletic ability. Just needs to go to a team that can help him sharpen up his pass rush tools. Um,
Yeah, I didn't know that about him, that he only had 6 sacks his entire college career. That's crazy.
yeah, it's crazy to think about, man, just because of how just physically imposing he is. And I mean, he's great against the run. You know, that's not an issue. So as it stands right now, he's probably best fit in like a 4-3 scheme, with his hand in the dirt. I think he'd be kind of out of play. If you put him at 3-4, I think he could make it work. But I think right now where he's at currently, I think he's better as a 4-3, probably on the like left defensive end side. Um, but he's got a ton of potential, like a shit ton. So, um, another D lineman, Dion Walker out of Kentucky. The dude is he's humongous. He's 6'7", 360. He's huge. But you
He's a
see it
Kentucky
when you
player,
watch
though,
him.
bro. He's a
Like, that's what I'm
Kentucky
getting at.
player.
You see it when you watch him play because sometimes some plays he makes great plays, especially against the run. He makes phenomenal plays, but sometimes, man, that 6'7" frame, dude, he plays too high, and them guards, them centers, they get leverage on him, dude, and they can push him back or they can just stand him up, you know. So that's one of those things, man. You know, not many guys are able to do it. That are that you remember Daniel McCullers? I mean, you guys drafted Daniel McCullers, you know. So
Yeah. Well,
I think Dion has a lot more potential than Daniel did because I think he's more athletic,
I should so
but
hope so.
he's got to learn to get his pad level lower. So he's a guy to watch. Um, I mean, there's so many guys in this draft that like I feel like they have the athletic ability, and then after the combine, like they're gonna blow it up. But it's like, what are they gonna do in the league? You know, like are
Right.
they gonna do anything? Is it gonna be like, are you John Ross? You know, because like Arian Smith out of Georgia, the dude's blazing fast. I mean, blazing fast. No hands. He has no hands. He can't catch the ball for shit. So, you know, there's a lot of project guys like that that are probably going to go higher than they probably should based off of their, their 40 time, which we see it happen all the time. You know what I mean? Um, so, um, as far as linebackers go, dude, Jahad Campbell stayed. Deontay Lawson's going back to Alabama, which is unfortunate. I don't know why though.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, baby. I don't know why though. Like I don't know why Deontay went back. It's like, dude, you were, like him and in my opinion, like outside of Jalen Walker, you know, Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson were like, 2 and 3. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or
Right.
whatever you're looking for. Jahad Campbell could be 1. So I don't know. It's kind of surprising he went back to college, but Jeffrey Bassa out of Oregon, he's a linebacker. I'd like to see his weight because he's lean. I think he was a safety and got kicked down to linebacker and played really well, but might be a little light in the ass. You know what I mean? So may have to bulk up a little bit. You know what I mean? But in today's NFL, though, I mean a lot of these linebackers are 230, 225. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they get along just fine. They don't have to. It's not as much, ground and pound anymore.
No, I get what you're saying, 100%. I mean, it is a passing league now, and the Eagles have the formula to dominate that end of it with their D line. So as we
Yeah, and the big
see.
thing to watch too is I mean, you're not going to see it, but you'll end up hearing about it. It'll end up leaking through. But medicals, man,
Yeah,
medicals are going to be a big part of this draft, and a lot of people don't realize that. You know, they look at the big board and they're like, "Oh wow, Siobhan Revel, he's 6'3", 200 pounds, blah blah blah." Like, he sounds like an intriguing prospect. Or Ben Morrison, oh, he's 6 foot, buck 90, runs a 4.4. Like, damn, he's rated number 4 or 5 on everybody's board. Some boards have him at 3. Like, I need to check on that hip. Need to check on that ACL.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
unfortunate.
that's always a big thing. It seems like
Yeah.
people and like you don't realize it till after you like you're watching a draft and you're like, man, like this guy's falling, and then it comes out. Oh well, his medical, they didn't trust this or they didn't trust that, and you're like, oh, okay, that's why. And if you don't really dig into it, then you wouldn't even know that he had something concerning. I mean, you may have heard like he got injured last year, whatever it may be, and there's a couple corners like that. And if it doesn't check out, then I mean they're gonna fall on them draft boards. I mean, we see it so often nowadays with players and their injury is it's one of them injuries that teams aren't willing to take the chance on.
Yeah, and some of these guys, they drop, and then they get picked and they play great. Like, it happens. And then other guys, they're not able to get that form back. And it sucks. It's unfortunate. I'm hoping that guys like Revel and guys like Benjamin Morrison and those guys, I hope that they're able to get that pre-injury form. But I mean, especially with Morrison, man, a hip injury, like for a corner, man, that's tough, dude. He had a shoulder injury as well. He had shoulder surgery as well. So, um, yeah, a lot of medicals, man. Another guy who's known, but I wanted to mention Nick Emenwari, man, out of South Carolina. I know I was texting you about him the other day.
Yep.
What an animal! The dude's a freak, man. He's like
He's a
He's built like Cam
specimen.
Chancellor.
He's a specimen.
He is 6'3", 227, and he's a safety. Um, his broad jump was 11 feet 4 inches. His vertical is 42 inches. He did 24 reps of 225 on the bench press and squatted 565 pounds.
That's disgusting.
Dude's a unit.
That is disgusting.
The most amazing thing about him is like when you see a safety like that, you're like, oh, he's up against the line of scrimmage. This dude can cover. He can cover.
Right.
He arguably covers better than he tackles, which is amazing. Um, but he's a guy, man. I'm really looking forward to his combine and seeing him put up some numbers because I mean he's just a freak, dude. Just an absolute animal. So I'm looking forward to him.
You know, there's one question that really is like, and I wanted to go with, and I was thinking about this all day actually while I was at work. I was like, I know I want to ask this, and I'm so glad I put it in my phone because I would have forgot. Going over the players, going over the combine, going over everything. What in your eyes, what do you think is the most loaded position in this draft this year?
Oh man. Oh shit. Yeah, you put me on the spot with that one. Um, I would say that if the cornerbacks were healthy, I would say probably corner. But with the question marks up top, um, I don't think. Okay. So I don't think quarterbacks are that strong this year.
No, no.
I think this could be a very good running back class. Um,
Running back. Okay.
receivers, receivers, I think are solid. Um, pretty top heavy, but I think there's some guys that could really show something and develop into really good players. I think this tight end class is actually really solid. I mean, I know that over the past couple of years, like we've had some classes where like we've had some quite a few good tight ends come out, and we've had some classes where there ain't shit. Um, I think with guys like Tyler Warren, Colson Loveland, Harold Fannin, who I mentioned earlier, Mason Taylor, who I mentioned earlier, I think that this tight end class, if they go to the right situations, I think this tight end class could be very good. Offensive tackles, rock solid, man. I think it's a rock solid class for offensive tackles. I think offensive tackles are kind of like a niche thing where it's like you get the top heavy, the top guys, and then they usually come in and start, and then you get the other guys, and most of them end up being developmental. They just have technical things they have to work on, which is understandable. It's a completely different game. But I really like this offensive tackle class, man. I think it's going to be really good. The guard class is solid. Offensive line in general, I think center leaves a little bit to be desired, but that is what it is. But as a whole, offensive line is solid. The D line, I love it. The edge rushers that are coming out, like the more I watch and the more like I read and everything, it's just like, man, the edge rushers in particular are just, there's some beasts coming out. A lot of them have
monsters,
yeah, a lot of them have just crazy upside, especially when it comes to getting to the passer. Just have crazy upside. So, really looking forward to the edge guys. D linemen, same thing. Man. Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon out of Oregon. Looks pretty damn good to me. Linebackers are solid. Corners, like I said, if the corners are healthy, primarily the two guys at the top, if they check out to be healthy, I think the cornerbacks would have the most depth. And honestly, I think safety's pretty damn good too. I think we got a little bit of everything in this draft. I think with guards, depending on what Donovan Jackson, depending on what they want him to play, because he can go outside or inside. I think he's better inside, but that's just me. But guards, it's kind of like, So I think we got a pretty good mixed bag in this draft. I really do. I don't think there's really any position that, aside from quarterback, that I'm really concerned with. I think there's a little bit of everything for everybody in this draft.
That leads me right into the next thing. So you saying quarterback's like the worst position we have in this draft coming in?
I'm not overly optimistic about it. Yeah,
I'm not either, honestly.
Quarterback and maybe linebacker. Once you get past Jahad Campbell and Jalen Walker, I like Smile Munden. He moves around really well. He sometimes get washed out in the run because he's a little light in the ass too, but I think he can work on that. But linebackers are kind of like off-ball guys. You know what I mean? They're kind of whatever. But quarterbacks, we don't know. Cam Ward, I think, will come in. I think that he's obviously gonna have some growing pains, but I think he has the most potential. I think Shedeur has potential. But after that, there's a fall off. With Jackson Dart, I like Jackson Dart, but it's like, he has the zip on the ball. It's what's that?
Jackson Dart is one of those. What are you going to get?
Yes. He has a lightning quick release. He gets the ball out of his hand quick, and he just sometimes makes dumb mistakes, and that's just something that can be expected from a young quarterback. So with him, it's kind of like, could he start? If he's a guy that you get at the end of the first round, if you're like a Pittsburgh or something, could he start? Yeah, I think he could, but you got to understand, you're gonna have to really try and work this offense around him. Quinn Ewers, he's another one. I thought he was going to be great. When he left Ohio State, went to Texas, I was like, oh, here we go. Now Quinn's going to break out, you know what I mean? He's going to show out. And he had some games, some instances where he looked really good, but he's just inconsistent. Jalen Milroe, he's the most frustrating guy in this damn draft, in my opinion. He has all the athletic ability and he has a cannon, but sometimes you just wouldn't know it because his mechanics are so shit, so... But yeah, quarterback for me is
as a
whatever.
Bama fan, we know that all too well.
Yeah, and Dylan Gabriel, he's talented. You know, he's small, doesn't get a lot of zip on the ball. I think he's probably a better backup, but I think he could fill in and do some starts for you. I think Will Howard could do kind of the same deal. Um, so there's some depth here. There's some things to work with here. But as far as like day one guys, I mean,
I don't think.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think you can get Shador and Cam in there, but I mean, you're gonna have to take the ups and the downs, you
you're
know.
gonna have some growing pains. You putting them two in there.
Yeah. And I like Cam more than Shador a little bit more, but really the gap, my quarterback thing changes all the time. It really does. Like it kind of goes up and down. You know, I have Donovan Smith rated higher than most people. I have him at 10. Um, Mainly off his athletic ability, you know, like
Right.
so. Yeah, quarterbacks for me, it's just a mixed bag this year.
I agree with you. I agree 100%. What is your thought? Where is he? Mm. Will Johnson coming out of Michigan. What is your thoughts on Will?
I love him.
Best corner coming out?
I think so. I think he's the best pure corner. I think with Travis is one of those deals where we talked about it before. Like he was focusing on corner and receiver. If he would just focus on corner, he'd probably be the best corner. If he was just focusing on
Right.
receiver, he'd probably be the best receiver. Um, but as it stands right now, dude, I love Will Johnson. I do. If you watch him, I mean, he's so damn big. You know, like he's so damn big. He's built like Jalen Ramsey. You know, he's just got that
Yep.
big, long. You know, he's a big corner, big physical corner, and he can move and he can blanket. So I'm all about Will Johnson, man. I think I have Travis as my number one overall player as well, mainly because of the two-way thing, like we were talking about earlier. But dude, as far as corners go, like I love Will Johnson, man. I do.
Who was the other one I wanted to ask you about? I know I've seen him. Where is he? Where is he? Do you think Jack Sawyer is going to translate to the NFL and be like he was? Because me personally, I think that Jack Sawyer might be a little inflamed over this college playoff run that he had this year, but maybe I could be wrong. I know he's listed as an edge, but what's your thoughts with Jack Sawyer?
Okay. I'm on the Jack Sawyer train. I am. I like Jack Sawyer. I like his motor. He doesn't give up on the play. Um, he's strong at the point of attack. He he plays the run well, and he also brings the heat as a pass rusher. He's had some. He plays high a little bit sometimes, like what do they call it? Bend. Like when he goes around the edge, he doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
that bend sometimes to get down. Sometimes he just uses just pure strength. Um, but I think that that's something that can be coached out of him because I do think he has the athletic ability to do it. I'm not saying the dude's going to come in and be Aiden Hutchinson, you know,
Right,
but
right, right, right.
but if he goes to a team, hell, if he goes to the Lions, you know, a team like the Lions and stuff like that, I think that he can. I think he can be productive. I think that he has. I think he has a ton of potential. A guy that I'm not as high on is actually his bookend, JT. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like he brings it. You know what I mean? Like he brings it. He has everything. He has the size, he has the strength, he has everything, but he just sometimes he just gets like kind of lost. I don't know how to describe it. Like when he goes up to do his move and set up his stunts and everything, he just gets kind of like if he gets caught, he just doesn't have like a counter. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a
Right,
bag.
right.
So he's one of those guys where I'm just like,
Trey
can somebody
Palmer.
coach that out of him? You know,
Yep.
kind of get him the hand usage. I mean, he's still young. You know what I mean? So for him, I think it's just where do you go and them coaching him up because he has all the physical abilities. It's just putting
Getting
it
it
all
out of him.
together.
Yeah, getting it out of him. I agree with you. I agree with you on that 100%. Anyone else that a lot of people have ranked high that you're not very high on?
Um, trying to think. One guy who everybody really likes is Ashton Gillett. He's another edge rusher out of Louisville, and I just he's not very explosive, you know. And I know that's like the sexy word, you know what I mean. I'm not trying to
Mm-hmm.
overuse the word, but um, he just I don't know. He kind of gets one dimensional. It looks like as far as how can I as far as like he goes in with a plan. Like I'm gonna go with a bull rush. You know what I mean? And then if he gets stood up, he stops his feet. You know, he just gets froze. Kind of like the same thing I was saying about with JT.
Right.
Um, but he's another one. He has the size and everything. It's just coaching that out of him. Um, he has all the athletic ability. You know, it's just the pass rush plan and just having counter moves and things like that, which a lot of young pass rushers I get, they go through that where they kind of focus on their physical abilities and that's how they win in college, you know, but can that be coached out of him? Yeah, I think so. Um, but he's a guy that I'm not as high on as a lot of people are. Um, but it's not a knock, you know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely. And a lot of it boils down to um the coaching, um the like how I always say Pittsburgh doesn't have a good development process to develop a quarterback. Like if you go to a team that has a good development process for your position, I think that's when you see a lot more out of these people and these players that you're like, I don't know if he has it, but he has the all the abilities. It's just a matter of putting it all together and someone getting it out of him. So I think that's going to be a big hindrance with a lot of these players that if they draft someone that's completely raw, that's like that just has freakish athletic ability, and they don't have someone a coach in the position to um, get the best out of them, they're gonna flop, and everyone's gonna call them a bust, so on and so forth. Like I mean, it goes back to the Sam Darnold thing. Sam Darnold was written off. Kevin O'Connell. It just goes to show the system he put in place around Sam Donald. And granted, it helps having Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. That's a big help. But at the same time, it's like they slow the game down for them to make them understand it and get the best result out of that player that they possibly can.
That's true. Yeah. And one reason I'd probably suck at being like an NFL executive. Now, granted, I would never turn the job down. uh,
Yeah, if anyone's
but
listening.
exactly. But I always look at it so like with those guys, like when I see these guys on like ESPN and stuff. Damn it. Whatever. Anyway, when I see them on there and they just kind of like tear the prospects down, you know, like when I watch them, like I'll see things that I'm kind of like, you know, like what I was just saying with Ashton and JT. Like when I watch them, there's like things that I don't like, but I don't like I can't sit there and be like, oh, he's gonna suck. This dude's trash. You know what I mean? Like he ain't gonna make
Right.
it. Like I just can't do it because I look at it like, okay, if he can develop this and work on this, then you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
like I don't. He's coming out of college. You know what I mean? It's hard to just kind of sit there and shit on the dude. You know, unless he's complete ass. You know,
Kenny
like
Pickett.
exactly. Like Kenny Pickett. Like we knew the freaking. You know, it's a high floor, low ceiling type of deal. You know, he peaked in college. You know, and we knew that. So you were gonna get what you got with him.
Yep.
Obviously we talked about the things that they could do to maybe make things easier for him and all that other stuff, you know. But there's some guys that they just peaked in college, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you 100%. Honestly,
That's like DJ Ukulele or how the hell you pronounce his name, dude. That dude has every physical tool. He's been in college since like frickin' the 40s. You know what I mean? Like the dude, the dude has frickin' all the talent in the world. He just when he was at Clemson and he took over, I was like, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? Like this is it. Like this is gonna be his big, you know, coming out party, dude. And he just
wasn't it?
the dude can throw the ball 80 yards, but like it may not hit the field. You know what I mean? Like,
Maybe in the stands.
yeah, it's just people like it's like guys like that. It's like, man, I just maybe because quarterbacks it's easier to do that just because it's like, dude, this dude he can't hit the broadside of a barn. So you can pretty much say like that dude's not going to be good.
Right.
but but like edge rusher and stuff, I'm always kind of like, like I think he could develop. He just needs to, learn counter moves, blah blah blah. It depends on where he goes, yada yada yada. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree 100% with you.
I try not to tear him down because I'm just like, dude, it
Try and
comes down
give
to coaching.
everyone a shot, at least some kind of chance, some kind of shot at it. And I mean, but like you said, if they're ass, then that's just what they are. I mean, call a spade a spade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that year Kenny Pickett came out. I mean, there was no good quarterbacks that year. I mean, there was none. Like, we knew it. I was one of the only
Yeah.
people that freaking said, I was like, dude, I don't like Josh Rosen when he came out of UCLA years ago.
Yep.
I was like, I just don't like this dude. Like, I don't like him. I just don't see him being an NFL quarterback. And he ends up just, I don't even know where he is now. Like,
That's a good question. That is a good
yeah,
question. I don't know
everybody was
where
high
he's
on
at
Josh
either.
Rosen. I was like, I was like, I don't
Extremely.
see it. Yeah, I was like, I don't see it. That was like I thought it was a solid quarterback year, you know what I mean? But like I was like I don't like see it with him because every time I've seen him, everything I watched on him, like I was like he makes good throws, but like there's not much zip on it, like just something about him.
Yes.
Like for me, it just stuck out. I was like, I don't like him.
Yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying 100%. 100%.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
that was shit. That was the year Josh Allen, Lamar. That was the year they all came out. Darnold was in that draft, Baker, and like Rosen was like the third best quarterback everybody had on their board and shit. And I was like, whoa, like, pump the brakes, like,
Josh
because the number
Rosen's
one
the goat,
pick,
dude. He's the
the number
goat,
one
bro.
pick was it came down to freaking Baker and it came down to Darnold. Like that's where it started. And then you had your Josh Allens, your Josh Rosens, your Lamar Jacksons, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I just don't like Josh Rosen. I don't see it.
And I mean, you struck it on the head with that one. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but I've also been wrong several times.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, 100%.
yeah, which comes with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, we're coming up on an hour. I mean, anything else? Anyone else you want to talk about? Anything you want to add?
Well, I want to ask you, man. Going into this thing, like position wise, what do you want Pittsburgh to look at? With the first, three picks y'all got. Like, who do you want them to look at? Like, what positions, what players are you like, kind of like, man, I would really like to get them on our team. You know what I mean?
First three picks, I it's tough for me. I go back and forth because every bit of me wants Pittsburgh to just have that dynamic duo at corner, and they where they're drafting at, they could do that in this draft. Go to the first round
Mm.
with a corner, and then I think about, okay, JPJ's JPJ, he's handsy, whatever, so on and so forth. We all know. And then I think about, I'm like, okay, what if you go and draft Ibuka in the first round? I wouldn't be mad at having GP and Mbuka. But who the hell's throwing the ball?
Aaron
Because
Rodgers.
Because there's reports that Justin Fields was checking out that Chicago Bears, or I'm sorry, the New York Jets roster on that on Madden 25, and he's like, "Damn, hold up."
Yeah, you guys are doing a quarterback swap, dude.
Bro, we're getting Daniel Jones.
Damn, you just went straight to the bottom. Holy shit.
I'm
Damn.
bro, I'm not even playing. Like, I'm fearful that we're getting Daniel Jones.
Dude, that
But,
would be what a strikeout.
dude, I hope that Pittsburgh doesn't spend and try and go get Sam Darnold. I truly hope they don't. I mean, I pray they don't. Like, there's reports that Pittsburgh may be in it'll be the lower contract offer, and it would be like him having to be like, yeah, I want to go play for Pittsburgh. But who the hell wants to come play in Pittsburgh right now, dude? I mean, let's just be honest. But like, I don't know, man. I know the Vikings have made mention that Daniel Jones could be the guy, could be the backup with the Vikings, which isn't a bad place for him. He has absolutely unbelievable talent there, but Daniel Jones sucks. It is what it is. But I mean, you might be right. Maybe it is Aaron Rodgers. Do I want him? No, I don't. Like, I want Justin Fields, bro. And anyone that has watched the stream for the past couple years we've been doing this, I have dogged Justin Fields live on this stream and clowned him numerous times, and I gave him props. He played games to win. He played well enough to win games, and he did the damn thing. I'm not sitting here saying that Justin Fields is the guy by any stretch of the means, but I don't know, man. Maybe Mason Rudolph comes back. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, it's a bad time to be a Pittsburgh fan right now, bro. Like, the quarterback situation is ugly. It's atrocious, and it's even worse now with all the spirals that Pittsburgh's gonna trade for Matt Stafford, and Kirk Cousins is getting cut by the Falcons. That's Pittsburgh's next quarterback, bro. I don't want him. I don't want any of them. I don't want any of them. None of them. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't want. I don't, I don't want. Matt Stafford. I don't want Aaron Rodgers. I don't want Russell Wilson. I don't want Sam Darnold. I damn sure don't want Daniel Jones. I don't want Kirk Bussin. Like, I don't want 2 Chainz out here getting on the team playing with GP, wearing everyone's chain on the goddamn plane. Like, I don't want them. You know what I want Pittsburgh to do? You know what? Actually, I'm going to say this. This is what I want Pittsburgh to do. I want Pittsburgh to get on the phone with the New England Patriots and go get Joe Milton.
There you go.
That's what I want Pittsburgh to do. Go get my man Joe, man. Let him start.
Honestly, yeah. That would be cool.
Dude, he's cheap as hell. He's cheap. Go get him. Go get Joe.
Freaking Pittsburgh could have had him. They didn't freaking draft him, dude. He was like a 7th-round pick. Pittsburgh said no.
Pittsburgh wasn't
nope.
with it, man.
We talked about that leading up to the draft, dude. It's like, dude, Pittsburgh grabs him late. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think he was going to drop as far as he freaking did, just because he's a quarterback. Like, I didn't think he was going to drop that damn far. Y'all still didn't get him. I was like, what the hell?
All right, so I just had to get on the Steelers Depot, even though I hate this goddamn website. I had to get on there to get this, and this was just posted like 5 days ago. You want to hear their top 5 QB options?
I think so.
Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson. Draft a quarterback like Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, or Will Howard. Justin Fields. That's their 5 options. No, 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 more no, and I would be fine with them bringing Justin Fields back or go get Joe. But back on track. Back on track. 3 picks. In all seriousness, it's gonna boil down to the board. What's there, who has fell, so on and so forth. Would I love to bolster that offense to give whoever the hell's throwing the ball a true number 2 receiver? Because let's be honest, Calvin Austin played extremely well this past season. Why we are throwing jump 50-50 balls to a 5'9" receiver is beyond me. But we no longer have Moonball Russ at the helm, so maybe that'll change. But if it's me, and this is the way I think that they're gonna go, depending on free agency, I think they go D line first. Cam Hayward had an excellent season, but he's not getting younger. I think you got to kind of get his replacement. So I think they go D line, and then second round, you look at the cornerback receiver situation, who's left on the board. Um, Maybe one of these cornerbacks that maybe have like the injury, they may fall. Maybe you can move up a couple spots and get that cornerback in the second, and then third you go receiver. If there is a suffice receiver, I don't want to see him reach on anyone. We've had a good draft last year. We went heavy with the offensive line. Um, yeah, I think that's the way that I want to see it go is D line first round. Because let's be honest, I think D line once they start to go, it's over. You know what I mean? And you kind of talked about that. There's a good mix of everything, but once there's a run on one position, it's gone.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think you go D line. You kind of find Cam Hayward's replacement and a plug and play type of guy. I mean, I don't want to see you draft a first round guy and he sits for a year. I mean, if you draft him in first round, he better be playing. So if that guy's there on the D line, you take him, and then I think it's either or, whichever way the board falls, second and third, you either get corner or you get receiver.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I agree with that.
Since you asked me, I got to ask you. Ravens, first 3 picks. What do you want to see? Big body receiver.
Dude, I'm telling you. Yeah, shit, dude. If for me it kind of boils down to 3 positions. It boils down to
Kicker.
cornerback, kicker, dude. Jesus, this whole off season. Dude.
Bro, you ain't even got to work Tyler Loop. They're swapping Tyler Loop, Justin Hooker for Tyler Loop, 70-yarders, dude.
I hate it for JT, man. I do, dude. Freaking witch hunt,
shit.
bro. It's a freaking witch hunt. Any of you fellas out there listening to the podcast, freaking, if you're gonna go get a freaking massage, make sure it's a dude.
Yeah. Or don't do it
They're
at
out
all.
here. Yeah, don't do it at all. They're out here.
If you have any money, don't do it, bro. Don't do it. They're gonna reach.
Dude.
They're gonna reach on you.
Yep, don't do it. Don't freaking do it. Hide your money.
Oh,
Don't do
shit.
it. If Trey Harris is there, I would be tickled to death if we got him. Big body receiver out of Ole Miss. I really like Trey Harris. The guy that I would love to get him is Nick Scorton. He's an edge rusher out of A&M. Dude, he's fun to watch, man. He's fun to watch, dude. He's as big as he is, the way that he's able to move, he can bring some heat off the edge, which is what we need. To me, that's one thing that we need to address in this draft at some point is edge rusher. Yeah, Van Noy played well, but he's kind of like you said with Cam. He's not getting any younger, and Van Noy gets sacks, but he doesn't always get pressure. Like I know that sounds like stupid, but
No,
he gets
you're right.
yeah, he won't consistently bring the heat. He can bring the heat and he will, but um sometimes he'll disappear. Uh I need someone a young guy who can come in and consistently bring heat because Owe wanted him to develop. He didn't. Um, unless he's playing Pittsburgh, he gets freaking 2 sacks or 3 sacks or whatever it was. But um, and I'd like to get another boundary corner. Nate Wiggins played phenomenal his rookie year, and Marlon played excellent in the slot, and I like him in the slot because you need a good slot corner, man. You know, these teams get creative with these receivers and they kick them in the slot and stuff, and they can really take advantage of your defense. And Marlon would peel off and he'd cover tight ends because he's big enough to do that. So I loved him in that position. A dark horse guy that I wouldn't be upset if we took, and I would, you know, wouldn't cry about it, is a guy we talked about earlier, which is Nick Emenwari. Um,
Yeah.
Take him and put him next to Kyle Hamilton. Darius Washington played well, but he's 5'8", 180 pounds. You know what I mean? But he did play well. Uh, but I would like him to kind of be like our third safety. But if we got Nick Emenwari and we put him back there with Kyle Hamilton, I think that would be that'd be a pretty dangerous duo back in the backfield. So
Absolutely.
yeah, for me, man, I'd really love to see. We gotta go after an edge rusher, dude. Like Michael Williams, he's another one at the combine. Wait, y'all wait till he gets up on the screen, dude. That dude is a freak of nature.
Dude, you fucking unit.
He's not
Dude
gonna be
is
there.
God.
Yeah, he's a freak, man. That dude, he stands up straight and his arms freaking damn near touch the ground. Like he has long arms. He's just extremely athletic. Uh, Kind of like Trayvon Walker from a few years ago, other former Georgia Bulldog. But I think Michael Williams is faster, which is terrifying.
Scary.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't think he'll be there. I don't think James Pierce out of Tennessee will be there. I actually can see him going to Chicago. I think they got the 10th pick. I can see him going there. Obviously, Abdul Carter's he's,
Yeah.
he's gonna be long gone. So, but yeah, if Nick Scorton's there, which they're projecting, Shamar Stewart, guy we talked about earlier. Prince William and Milan too. He's another guy that I really like. I'd like to see his combine numbers. He's one of them guys I want to see what he does in the agility drill. He's out of Ole Miss, but he's really good pass rusher. So I don't know. I'm hoping Baltimore can get us somebody that can bring some damn heat off the edge, man, because I'm kind of over it, dude.
Hey, it's been a long time for Baltimore, and every time you think you got them, you got one. It doesn't happen.
No, it hasn't, man.
All right. Well, anything else you want to bring to the table? Anything you want to mention before this NFL Combine kicks off next Thursday?
No, man, I think that's about it, dude. Like I said, there's a lot of deep positions in this draft, I think, and some that are top heavy, but like running backs, man, I don't know. I feel really good about this running back class. I do, and I know backs can be kind of difficult to evaluate, but I would kind of keep an eye on the combine, man. Keep an eye on these guys, these running backs and stuff. You obviously everybody knows Genty, but you're Amarian Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson, Jordan James. You know what I mean? Just a lot of guys coming in this year to be excited about. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I'm just looking at this draft board. Remember when Mike Tomlin was like real high on Malik Willis?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You think Pittsburgh could be contacting Green Bay?
That's possible.
I mean, Malik actually played well whenever he was in there this year.
He did. Yeah, he did play. He played really well. But but that's the same thing. It's like he's Justin Fields, maybe a worse Justin Fields, depending on
I
the
would, yeah.
situation.
Yep.
So it's like
Yep.
I think Fields kind of is a little bummed out too after the way everything went down. Because like you said, you said it whenever he got benched for Russ in the first place. It's like he just never really got comfortable because he was like, dude, if I throw one interception, if I fumble one ball, like if I make one mistake, I'm going to get benched, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
So I think he's got a bad taste in his mouth with Pittsburgh, and that's why he's looking at the Jets, and it's pretty bad when you're starting to look at the Jets, but
Yeah, for sure. Agree with you 100%. Well, that's gonna do it for us. The rundown of players. Obviously, we weren't gonna just read verbatim off of whatever's on the screen. Oh, Nick Swarrington, 6'6", 305. We're not doing that. Like we like to just off the top of the head shit that we've come up with, shit that we analyze ourselves. We like to. We don't like to be one of these people that just reads from a poster board of what a player can and can't do, and we kind of like to give our insight on what we think. Obviously, we will have um a podcast uh leading up after the combine, uh winners and losers of it. That'll be a big one. So tune in next Saturday for the follow up of the combine. Obviously, the combine ends on Saturday. Uh, I think I might have to work. Yeah, I do have to work. So we might do the podcast either before or after because I'm on 2 to 10 this week. So it might be like a 10 o'clock stream start if you're good for that. Or we'll do it before I go to work, whichever may happen. But yeah, I mean, we'll play it by ear, but it will definitely will be Saturday. We'll see what where that goes as far as scheduling and everything like that. And let's kick this off season off with a good combine. Let's see some winners. Let's see some people improve their draft stock and start getting ready for the draft, man. Free agency's right around the corner too. I think you're going to see some crazy moves, and you might see some aggressive teams in the trading market. So as always, we are BS Draftcast because all we do is BS